diagnosis and deal with your own fears. On the street, you have these hundreds of thousands of people protesting, hundreds of
Good. Well, it's not morning. What would you call this? This is lunch. This is lunchtime. You're watching a special edition of a new, well, it's not really new. It's kind of old, but we just decided to bring it back. Call the Now right here on CSHR Radio. And today we're talking about conspiracy theories. What's the most ridiculous conspiracy theory you've heard so far today? And I mean, it doesn't really matter what it is. It could be about flat Earth. It could be about, 5G and how 5G is going to kill everyone. Or murder hornets, which I'm kind of confused about the murder hornets thing. What happened to them?
I thought they were still a thing. Like, aren't, oh, no, that's the wasp, like the scorpion wasps. Never mind.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure they are a thing, but like they were here, and then all of a sudden everybody was freaking out about them, and then they just disappeared. It was like, okay, well, I guess we don't have to worry about that anymore. Murder hornets are gone. It's fine.
See, I think the big issue with that is with the murder hornets and little things like that. Same thing with what was it? That monkey virus, the
monkeypox.
Yeah, the monkeypox. Like, they were just like small little distraction methods that people just got excited with.
I noticed a lot of that was like crafted around about the same time that the COVID epidemic started, or the COVID pandemic started.
Yeah.
You were hearing a lot of these weird things like murder hornets, and I think one of the funniest things about it is all of this stuff is going on, right? And the United States government just decides out of the blue, UFOs are real. There is life on other planets. And everybody was so desensitized by everything that's been going on lately. Everybody was just like, okay. Nobody freaked out. Nobody cared. It was just like, oh, cool. UFOs. That's nice. Yeah. We're starving to death. Who cares?
Yeah. Basically they waited too long to get that fear factor. But I do feel like during COVID, I was living like one of the biggest social experiments ever.
I tell you what, if the government used it as an experiment, and I'm not saying they did, but if the government used it as an experiment to see if they could get control of people, they succeeded. Big time.
No, that's seriously what I took it for, with the way that I had watched both sides. Like, obviously during that time I got into political activism, even a little bit before there. But like, I started to read both sides. Like, there is some truth to some of those overly nutty people with the 5G. And because I do buy into a lot of conspiracy theories, but the 5G and the flat earth, like, you can't catch me with that. Like, I cannot get behind it. Like, by any means.
Robert Walker says, conspiracy theories with Scott here. No, what we're doing today, Robert, is we're talking about how idiotic some conspiracy theories are. That's what the focus of this show is. So, like, if you heard some ridiculous conspiracy theory, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be about the Francis Key Bridge, the Key Bridge in Baltimore.
Oh, God.
Like people saying that the government had something to do with a ship losing power and hitting it at 1:30 in the morning when nobody was on the bridge.
They did what they did with 9/11 with it. They started putting out videos, and apparently there was little explosions happening on it before the ship even hit it. Like, just in that perfect moment, there was little explosions, apparently.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it had electricity on it and all of these lights. So as the ship began to hit it, what do you think all of these electrical connections are going to do? They're going to make sparks.
They're like, oh, they put bombs on it. Look, there was bombs. And I'm like, all right.
I mean, I think it's pretty much clear at this point what happened. At around 1:29, the ship yells Mayday, We need help. We lost power. We're losing control of the ship. They dropped port anchor. They turned hard to starboard, threw the engines in reverse. But it wasn't enough because they don't have bow thrusters because of no power. So the front still kicked off into the support for the bridge. And it doesn't take an engineer to figure this out. When you hit something that size with something the size of the Empire State Building, what's going to happen? It's going to fall. Doesn't take rocket science to figure that out. Common sense should be the key thing. And I can promise you, if the government was involved in it, they wouldn't have done it at 1:30 in the morning when hardly anybody was on the bridge. They would have went for maximum damage, which means they would have hit it in the middle of rush hour.
Yep. No, they would have, and it would have been a lot bigger of an ordeal, and I wouldn't have picked that port. I hate to say it, like, yes, I'm aware a lot of people think it's their biggest and this, that. There's a lot bigger ports, and there's a lot of ports that would have made a lot bigger of an impact than that one.
Yeah, but okay, so Robert says, well, sadly, our government does participate in false flag events, but I don't expect the average status to get it. No, you're right. You're right. They do. But that is not just this government. That is all governments. But you also have to look at the accident that was involved with this bridge. If it was a true false flag event, they would have went for maximum damage at any given time.
An event.
It would have been an event, not a ship losing control and hitting the support structure for a bridge. You know, they would have waited until it was rush hour. They would have never called in a mayday. For one, they would have never tried to clear the bridge. They would have went for maximum damage. I mean, that's the only way you can really get the American people polarized. Is you gotta smack them.
You do, and you gotta have your pansy, right? You gotta have your pawn that you blame it on, and they're not even trying to redirect the idea. Like, they're not, like, the neither news side is trying to spin it, and usually you can catch something being a little bit not right when you watch the news or you read the news, and there's a lot of massively conflicting ideas. But nobody's trying to spin it. Nobody's trying to blame anybody. They're literally just trying to get everybody to understand it was an unfortunate accident.
Yeah, and it just so happened to happen why didn't they have tugboats? Most ships don't whenever they're in a wide berth like that, a wide berth channel like that. Why? Because the ship can navigate on its own power. In small areas, yes, absolutely. They do have tugboats attached to that ship, so they could turn it and do whatever they need with it. Robert says, oh, the ship thing I don't care about. And I really haven't even looked into it. Well, no, because you have common sense. You see a really big thing hits really, something the fraction of the size of the thing it hit, and it collapsed. I mean, that's common sense.
Exactly. And that's why I'm like, I can't buy into it. I'm not sitting there with them on it at all. There's substantially bigger distraction methods they're using right now too. That's why the bridge was talked about, and it's starting to be less and less talked about because everybody's hung up on P. Diddy.
Right. Well, I mean, P. Diddy is definitely a distraction. P. Diddy is going to be the fall of Hollywood because they have lots of videos of all of these celebrities that are engaging in illegal acts that they recovered from those raids. Because P. Diddy had cameras in every room. So this is going to be very interesting before too long. It's going to be way worse than Epstein.
But here's the big thing, what I want from all of this, to be frankly honest with you. I want a massive public apology for Corey Feldman. I know the rest of them need their apologies too, but you know what? That man fought tooth and nail for years to try and get something for what's happened to him and his friends. And nobody's even talking about him through all of this. Everybody's focusing on Justin Bieber, Will Smith, P. Diddy, all these other people. But it's like everybody forgot about Corey Feldman.
Well, the reason being is because those are popular people in pop culture right now. Corey Feldman really hasn't been popular since he was in the Goonies in the 80s. I mean, I hate to say it, but he just kind of fell off the map. You know, he fell out of favor with Hollywood, and now he's trying some weird music career. And I've heard some of his music. It's, nah, I'll pass. You know,
Oh, his music.
I'm not saying he's a bad guy or anything.
But I just think people need to give him an apology. That's it, and then carry on with everything. But everybody needs to be like, bro was right. It's trying to tell us.
But the thing is, too, is why don't these people actually say something when it happens?
They did. Well,
why did they wait?
Did. A lot of them in this situation with P. Diddy, a lot of them did try to. It is actually stated by even Cat Williams. He flat out came out and said, "Do you really think any of them?" Cassie, she even said, "It's like I couldn't afford a lawyer to go up against him. Like nobody that was willing to go up against him could I afford, because nobody wanted to fight these people. There was so many lawyers that are like, not touching it." Ain't touching it. Like, yeah, I feel for you, lady, but you know what? I'm not touching it. Some of these people were way too scary for some of the biggest lawyers. And it comes down to finances. It comes down to money.
So what do you think of the whole thing? You think it's a distraction because it's an election year? Or do you think this is an actual thing?
To be honest, I actually think this is it's a perfect distraction, but it's because it's such a perfect distraction. I actually don't think it's a distraction. I do think this is legit because a lot of them have been trying for a few years. I've been kind of noticing the flux in it. And now that some of these people have been able to make it big on their own, they now have their own foot and their own platform to stand on finally.
My biggest thing is with it, if you're not guilty, why are you hiding? Why did you run? That's kind of pretty much an admission of guilt right there.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is.
You know, I mean, you ran. You know, all of these people all of a sudden came out and said, hey, you did this. No, I didn't. And then you get on your private jet and you flee to another country. How does that make you look?
It makes you look very guilty, but I just gotta say, I've been waiting a long time to watch Hollywood crumble for many, many years, and I'm definitely here for it, but I'm not gonna let it distract. It's just an entertainment, funny, haha situation. I am getting a good laugh out of some of it. It's a very serious situation, and get the good laugh.
The problem with it, and like Robert says, I think it's a real thing, but I noticed in the past the FBI seems to be the cover-up team. Well, absolutely. That's what they're there for. I hate to say it, but that's not a conspiracy. That's always been that way. They are the ones that cover up the most crap. It's always been that way. It always will be that way, unless you get rid of them. But another thing is, too, is there's a lot of people in this country that can't separate celebrities from reality. So this is going to have an impact on the election, regardless of what it is. It's going to have some type of impact. It's going to have some type of distraction from what's actually going on. Why? Because people are dumb and they can't differentiate between celebrities in real life. That's one of the things I never understood is why do you listen to these people? Why do you listen to their political views? They have more money than all of us put together. Why do we even care what they think? You know, that's the only reason these people get away with this crap for so long is because of the amount of money they have. If that would be me or you or Jackie or anybody, what would happen? We'd be under the prison by now.
We would have, like, a long time ago, and that's like even something that was brought up today. One of the biggest things in our country today is a video came out of our prime minister doing the Nazi salute.
But I bet you it's going to get squashed in the media, especially if he has the media in his pocket.
He's already had it deleted. He's had it removed. He's put blockers on where that video can be put. But at the same time, a prime minister from the G20 came out and was like, did you know he missed the dinner because there was so much cocaine on his plane that he was so high he couldn't even make it to dinner?
And you see, and those are not conspiracy theories. When we say conspiracy theories, what we're talking about is 9/11. The conspiracy theories around 9/11.
Oh, I know.
When
But
it
it's like he would have. If that was anybody else, we would have been arrested. That's why I brought it up. Was that kind of like if it was?
Do I think they had time to scramble fighter jets and shoot those planes out of the sky? Absolutely, they did. Do I think a lot of people dropped the ball and just let the planes hit the buildings? Absolutely, I did. I do. But do I think the government had any involvement of it other than that? Probably not.
So you don't believe that there was a pile of gold underneath that went missing?
No, I've never even heard they stored gold in that place before until
Apparently,
after the buildings fell.
yeah, that's
You know,
I read that one, and I was like, how would they have done that without people not noticing if it was that much?
people, somebody would have saw it. Somebody would have pictures of it, especially on underneath a building that then collapsed. You know, there's thousands of people out there on the cleanup efforts to clean all of this up, and you really think they're going to be left with several tons of gold without anybody seeing it?
Oh, the my new favorite one is somebody actually literally, and this was today. I had this conversation. Somebody literally believes that they did a complete ship swap, like moved parts and everything from one berth to another berth for the Titanic, taking away from the fact that almost every single part had the right name on it that came up that are stored in a museum in Newfoundland. I
Well,
do
not
believe
only that,
there's
I mean,
conspiracy theories with it, but that one I cannot get behind the Olympic and the Titanic being swapped. I can't get behind it.
no, it hasn't been swapped. The Olympic actually had a different stern structure than the Titanic. It looked similar, but if you actually look at it, they were two different ships, and you can
And
clearly tell.
their decks were their upper decks were also designed differently, and where the emergency boats were stored was different on each boat. And the
I'm not
berth,
going to lie to you. I studied a lot about the Titanic because underwater shipwrecks and stuff like that's always fascinated me. And I can tell you that I've read everything that you can possibly read about it. And I really do believe, because recently they just found out that they had a fire in one of the coal holes
yep,
that burned from the point of its launch all the way until it sunk.
it left
So,
the structure of the steel. It was that one I remember reading about that when it came out because I was obsessed with the Titanic and actually most of the ships, like anything that was cited as an HMS or anything like that. I went through a huge look through it. Same thing with the Blue Ribbon event, because a lot of conspiracy theories surround around the Blue Ribbon that everybody was trying to get for the fastest transatlantic crossing, and they think that had a lot to do with it. I was like, it couldn't go
well,
that fast. It was
I
almost
think it had a top speed of what, 24 knots was the Titanic's top speed. But if you look at the now that we know that there was a coal fire in the holes when it hit the iceberg, if you look at the pictures from the 1980s when they originally found where the Titanic was, if you look in that area where they denoted that the coal fire was, you'll see a big blast area. It's all peeled open right there. So what happens is when you have extremely cold water that hits a coal fire, it's going to have a flash explosion because all of that water turns to steam immediately, and it's going to come out of something. And if you look at the side of the ship when they found it in the 80s and you see that big eruption on the side of the ship, it's pretty safe to say that's probably why it sunk. You know, when you rip a hole that big in the side of something,
that's supposed to stay afloat. Thank you, James.
this guy was on, he was lubricating the lobsters. Well, yes, you can't have them getting stuck in pipes. Have to be lubricated. Have you heard about the 9/11 terrorist passport being found on the street just after the event, and it was in the 9/11 report? I call BS. No, actually, I hadn't heard about that. Maybe you can elaborate on that one. There was a passport actually found, because I heard there was like nothing found from them. And you see, this is the thing. This is the thing about conspiracy theories right here. Was that actually done? And is it documented somewhere? Or is it just somebody saying that it happened?
I haven't heard that one yet, to be honest.
And if it was found, what did it say? That he was from the Middle East? Or was he from Florida? What did it say?
What color was the passport? What color was it? What
Well,
was
we already know that
those?
most 7-Elevens are ran by Indians, so probably not. They don't close for anything.
No, they'll
I
sit there.
will go and watch that later. Thank you for that, Robert. If anybody's in the comments, that's a show or a video about 9/11.
Summed up in 5 minutes.
And you see, this is the problem with conspiracy theories and social media, because all of these people have these thoughts and opinions, and they throw them out there, and they see one little thing that might be something to skew it off into whatever they think it might be, and they run with it. And then you got these other knuckleheads that, and there's no evidence behind half of this shit. That was a beep for me. But anyway, I just heard it in my headphones. But anyway, I mean, it's you don't have any evidence of this stuff. You know, if you come at me with the evidence, then yes, absolutely, I'll believe it with you. But just like 5G, that's non-ionizing radiation, but people think it's gonna like infiltrate your brain and kill you. There is a difference between ionizing and non-ionizing radiation. Non-ionizing radiation, those 5G towers are no more dangerous than a microwave being in your house unless you stick your head in a microwave. And I'm sorry, I don't know anybody who's sticking their heads in microwaves.
I don't think they are. And like they say even just sleeping with it by your head, that's a big no-no apparently. Apparently it gives you brain cancer. So
James Rose says 9/11 was a plot masterminded by geese and Joseph A. Campbell's ghost. That is the conspiracy theory we're going with today. Canadian geese was the masterminds behind 9/11.
The Canadian geese are the ones that also border the wall that surrounds the entire world because it's flat and surrounded by a giant ice wall that none of us can get past.
I think the funniest thing about the flat earth conspiracy is that these people actually think that NASA is conspiring with all of these governments that hate us, like China, to say that the earth is flat, the earth is round. Yeah. When China's shooting off all of these satellites, taking pictures of Earth from like Mars and all of this other crap, but oh no, the earth is flat. Really? Come on, guys.
Like, have you watched some of those videos of some of those skydivers at like 50,000 feet? Like, I mean, whatever you got to say, dude.
Right. And past the ice wall is supposedly forgotten civilizations like Atlantis and God Emperor nonsense. Well, hey, look, if it's that much better on the other side of the ice wall, why aren't these people telling us about it? Or are they just all sitting over there and laughing at us? Like, hey, we got a great life over here. Y'all are a bunch of idiots. Flat Earth.
It's like, are we going back in time, though? Like, are we just trying to be like, like the old age? Like, where we can't say, like, I mean, I'm okay with it, but like, is that what we're doing?
Flat Earth is like one of the dumbest, the absolute most ridiculous conspiracy theories out there. There's like books and books and books of scientific knowledge that tells you that the Earth is an oblique spheroid, and here these idiots still thinking that it's flat. Come on.
There was
you have all these countries that's sitting out all these satellites taking pictures of the Earth and stuff. It's still flat, I promise. Yeah, NASA's conspiring with people like China and North Korea. Yeah, sure, that's happening.
The satellites, they're not even real.
Yeah, the satellites aren't even real. The GPS doesn't actually work.
So, one question that was never answered is how we are dealing with the setting sun and the setting and the rising of the sun.
We're the Truman Show to the advanced civilization, every world disaster, the auto super race. You know, I'm kind of starting to think that, because mathematically, it's impossible to say that we're the only life in the universe. Mathematically, that's impossible. So if we're here, I promise you there's another world out there somewhere with idiots just like us.
They're
or even
claiming
more
that
advanced
they've already found.
civilizations. I mean, the Earth's been here for billions of years. There's no telling how far some of these other civilizations got. They're probably
But
watching us going, oh my God, this is how we were 10,000 years ago? Jesus.
do the flat earthers believe the government that said that there's aliens, that we have aliens? Do the flat earthers believe that? Because if
If
they
they
do, then
do,
they're hypocritical.
that's exactly what I was about to say. You took the thought right out of my head.
Like straight
Okay.
up.
So we have round worlds everywhere else, but y'all's is flat. No, that's not how it works.
No,
I mean,
no.
we look at all the other planets in the solar system, we see big balls, but all of a sudden we think this one's flat. What is wrong with you people? Stop it.
We're the frisbee that got lost, okay? That's what happened. The aliens threw a frisbee, and we're on the frisbee that got lost.
Okay, that's almost a scary thought right there.
No.
I have enough trouble dealing with one. Could you imagine one on every planet? Jesus.
I am quite difficult.
Hey, I had a belly button until early last year. Okay? Now I'm just a science experiment. Don't bring my belly button into this. It's still a sore subject for me.
Okay.
Actually, what I did, my daughter recently started coming around, and I had to make it a point to show her the spot where my belly button used to be. Look, it's flat there now. There's nothing there anymore. It's so weird. Put your shirt down.
I mean, I'm
Walking
kind
around
of
in Walmart and pick my shirt up and go, I don't have a belly button. I'm not even human. Get out of my way. No, that's not me. I'm not the soup person. That's Jackie. We have the meme to prove it. Yeah,
So,
we have the
so
meme.
when Jackie makes a lot of money, Jackie's gonna join like those, those people that feel the need to go to other countries and deliver things, and all I'm gonna deliver is Campbell's tomato soup to all the poor countries.
They'll hate tomatoes. They'll see her getting off the plane and they'll be like, God, more tomato soup. This is ridiculous. Shall I have a cart full of tomato soup and like grilled cheese sandwiches? Here you go, guys. They'll be sick of processed cheese products. Ethiopian kids still looking the same because, they're sick of tomato soup. And it's like, man, this is the only thing we got to eat. We'll just die.
There was a conspiracy theory about all that way back, too, about the poor countries that apparently it's just fake. It's all fake. No.
Oh, God. I go to Africa to see that. Yeah, I would too. I might go check into how much it's going to cost to get my passport just so I could go watch that. Good afternoon, Mr. Lee. How are you today?
Yo, Arsh, yeah.
I think Harsh is still asleep. I'm not sure. I haven't seen him today.
That's okay. He's going to wake up on a lot of tags. It's okay. It's fine.
He's going to wake up like, what in the world happened while I was asleep? I don't know. I just work here. That's my excuse, and I'm running with it. I just work here. I don't know. I'm just a producer. That's my tagline for everything that goes wrong. What do you think about it? I don't know. I'm just a producer.
I just produce. It's all them.
Primordial soup for Harsh would be what? A slushy? From 7-Eleven.
Primordial soup was the start of everything. It's where everything came from. It was all bacteria and everything until they all mushed together to create bigger cells. But anyhow.
You and Jackie cover for him just fine. Well, no, okay. Lee, this is CSHR radio, so I mean, it's just more than, me and it's just more than Harsh.
I mean,
y'all picking. Of course, Hoey shows up.
finally.
Hoey, we're talking about conspiracy theorists today. I want to hear your best conspiracy theory, the most ridiculous one. If you don't want to leave one in the comments, go ahead and call the number 1-844-799-WCHR. That's 1-844-799. And I forgot the numbers. 799. What is it? It's going to roll across the screen here soon. Okay, pay attention to the ticker because I don't know the last four numbers of the 1-800 number. Just pay attention to the ticker. Most ridiculous one? I don't know. This is scary for Hoey to come up with one because he hears some weird stuff. Okay, it's 844-799-9247. That's 844-799-WCHR or 1-844-799-9247. If you're scared to talk on the phone or in the comments, email us contact@cshr-radio.com.
For those of you
Come
that
on,
do not have an updated phone that has the letters on your numbers.
Yes, that's why I had to read out the actual numbers.
The Obama
Most ridiculous one. Come on, Hoey. I know you got one. You got at least one conspiracy theory in there.
Our government literally listens to all of our phone conversations because the government's interested in what everybody has to say.
I think that's BS.
That's a lot of people to listen to and a lot of bullshit. I mean,
okay, well, why? Okay, this is a good one, and I know the reasoning behind this. A lot of people say that the world ended in 2012, and that's why we have so many Mandela effects now. Because we remember things, and really... I'm not going to lie, some of those Mandela things, I remember it the other way. I clearly remember it being the other way. And all of these things are like, no, this never happened. I remember it.
Some of it, there's still, as they call it, residue. So, because I went into a Mandela effect research last night because there's one that just, it messes with me so bad because you can go and Google search it and there's videos of them saying, beam me up, Scotty. But then there's also a video of him literally saying, no, we didn't. That it was never said. And it's like, but there's, why are you telling me it's not true when I have it?
I mean, okay, I get the Bernstein Bears, you know, yeah, I can kind of see that one. But there's other things that I clearly remember, like JCPenney. I remember an apostrophe S on that sign on those buildings. And that's one of the Mandela effect things. JCPenney claims they never had an apostrophe S on the end of that sign. I clearly remember that sign having an apostrophe S at one point at every freaking mall. This is another one too, because I remember Sinbad doing a show as a genie when I was a kid, a movie.
Yep.
But they said it doesn't exist now. Why does everybody remember these things? It's things that everybody remembers, but they claim it doesn't happen. It didn't happen.
That one, like I said, those ones mess with me. Those ones actually do mess with me a bit. I'm not gonna lie, because that's like the biggest gaslighting narcissistic tactic out there, because they are doing it to mess with us. I know it's not like they're trying to be like, no, it actually didn't. It's like, no, they're actually.
This is another one.
Yeah,
this is another one.
Because I used to wear those underwear. There was a cornucopia on them.
Yes, there was a cornucopia at one point. Can we discuss if you believe it's possible? Well, genetic anomalies happen today. I mean, there is a thing called gigantism. The largest man in the world, Ludlow, what was his name? Ludlow Walsworth or something like that.
And Andre, the giant.
Andre, yeah, I mean, that's genetic anomalies. So, yeah, I do believe that's possible.
I do think there was giants. Absolutely. I do believe in the aspect of that.
That's another one I remember that they claim never happened.
He had monocles. That makes me mad.
I remember those two characters with monocles, but now they claim they never had one.
It's because monocles are evil.
What's another Mandela effect that you know of that is just, I know where the term stems from, but I honestly don't remember Mandela dying in the 80s like a lot of people do.
The guy,
I remember him.
I can't remember his name right now, but he was that guy that always had like the curly hair and the headband. They're trying to say he didn't wear the headband anymore. He was back in the 90s, did some of those like little workout shows and stuff like that.
You're talking about, oh God, Sweating to the Oldies guy.
Yeah.
I can't think of his Richard.
Not Rich. Was it Richard Simmons? No, it's not Richard Simmons.
Yes, it was Richard Simmons.
There it is. Yeah, apparently he never wore a headband, the sweatband. He never wore it.
That's another one. I remember Jif peanut butter having a Y on the end of it, and they claim it never happened. Olivia says, I'm a giant. In my heart, you're the biggest thing in my heart. Yes, you are. Richard, no, it's not Richard Simons. Richard Simmons. 2 M's, no apostrophe S. Thank you, Lee. Lee got it correct.
I know it's not a Mandela effect, but I'm still messed up when we found out that the Dixie Chicks are not the Dixie Chicks, they're the Chicks. That messes me up. I know it's not a Mandela effect, but that messes me up.
They dropped the Dixie Chicks because it offended certain people.
Just still, all of this stuff just mind blows me. Yes, that was the original spelling of Febreze.
Yes. A lot of people think it had an R in it. I don't remember it ever having an R in it until recently.
I remember it being, yeah, like there was an R in it.
Yeah, it's Febreze, but they say it was always this, Febreze. I don't remember it not having the R in the beginning of it. Well, I mean, yeah, I also remember Sinead ripping up a picture of the Pope on live television.
What, are they saying that didn't happen?
No, I mean, that actually happened. I also remember when Britney Spears shaved her head in some maniacal mental breakdown that she so claimed was for a movie that nobody ever saw after that. Well, come in here and do it. Come smoke with me.
Yeah,
it's middle of the day. It doesn't matter. Come smoke with us. Oh, yes. That is the biggest one. There's the biggest one I remember, and I clearly remember him working for Publishers Clearinghouse. There's even articles that still exist about him referring to himself with Publishers Clearinghouse. But Publishers Clearinghouse, as well as Ed McMahon's company, is stating that he never had anything to do with Publishers Clearinghouse.
No, he totally did.
That is, I remember the commercials. I remember the commercials where he would go up to people's houses with the big check. I know y'all saw those commercials. I'm not the only one that saw them.
Even in Canada, we saw those because we had a lot of American TV. That's why the J.G. Wentworth is still stuck in my head. We couldn't call them. We couldn't get money from them, but we could definitely have their jingle stuck in our head. But no, that was a huge thing. They made jokes about it on multiple TV shows, too. Like, there was lots of references to it repeatedly.
CERN caused majors. How?
They do. Well, there is the conspiracy theory that the governments do have weather control machines and they have the ability to create tsunamis, tornadoes, and all that kind of stuff from however they choose.
Now, okay, I will say this. I do know for a fact that they can seed clouds and make it rain. Because that has been a common practice for years, where they have drought-stricken areas to the point where things are just dying. And they will seed clouds and they will make it rain. But I don't know of any other type of actual weather control. You know, I really haven't heard anything like. I've seen the conspiracy theories behind it, but I have not seen any actual data to support it. And I really do believe if they had that type of technology, we would not be in 90% of the situations we're in.
Yeah, why would they cause these things, like the giant earthquake in, was it Thailand yesterday? Or the day before?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not an effect, it's a psyop. They're going to rewrite history and do away with anyone who doesn't follow their lore. Much conspiracy, very con. But is it really a conspiracy theory, or is it just mass
gaslighting?
Yeah, I mean, because it's menial things that we remember that supposedly aren't the way they are. But it's nothing major. All of our major historical events are still there. So, I mean, really, can you really call that a conspiracy theory?
Well, at the end of the day, like if you think about it in like somebody that's going to twist your mind's way, obviously you're going to start small before you go big. So it's kind of like James was saying, I would believe it. You need more evidence to prove it, but I would believe it because that is something that they've like with COVID, like we were even talking about. It's little social experiments to see how much can they get away with? What can they do? The more that they can twist your mind, the more that they can control you.
Right. Absolutely.
It's an abusive relationship, 100%. It's not a conspiracy. It's an abusive
James says, I'd make it rain soup on Jackie.
Oh, God. Yeah, well, it looked like blood more than tomatoes.
Okay.
Picture.
Hoey, Pluto gets a bad rep. I'm sorry. Pluto's a planet at one point, then he's not a planet anymore, and then they make him a planet again, then they kick him back out. Poor guy. I feel sorry for that guy.
Yeah, that's not even a conspiracy theory. NASA just keeps messing with it. They're like, it's not big enough to be a planet. Well, it's a dwarf planet. Now it's big enough. Nah, it doesn't weigh enough.
Right. Or, I mean, it's a ball of something floating around way out there, and it just so happens to be kind of hanging around. So, Pluto, if you're listening, we feel sorry for you, and we hope that you get your planet status back. If not, if you decide to leave the solar system because of it, we understand. NASA has gaslit you to the point of wanting to leave, and we get it. Although, take me with you, because I don't want to be here anymore either. We'll all shoot off into space. It'll be fine.
I mean, that's what they're trying to say is going to happen with Apophos, the giant freaking meteor that's going to hit our planet. They said it was going to happen in 2029, then they pushed it to 2030, but it's going to hit us and knock us out of orbit, and we're going to plummet into the sun, and we're going to get a really hot vacation. Yeah.
I agree with Jackie on this one. Push the lines to see how much we'll accept and then push it further. Yeah, that's just government. I mean, they've always been that way.
It's not a conspiracy theory. In my mind, it's a giant, it's a giant social experiment. They're playing with us, and we're letting it happen because...
Okay, now, Hoey, I'm going to blow your mind on this one. Goofy is not a dog. Goofy is a cow.
Is that why he married Annabelle?
Yes.
I thought he
Goofy
was
a cow. No, Goofy is not a dog. Pluto was Goofy's dog. Goofy was a cow. Look it up. Google it. It'll tell you.
I believe you because it's kind of like when I finally grew up and somebody told me Piglet wasn't a girl. Piglet's a boy. And I'm like,
yes, Piglet is a boy.
I always thought Piglet was a girl. Like straight up, Goofy. I always thought Piglet was a girl.
Hey, damn spell check. He was a calf.
Planet X. Yeah, Planet X.
Calf. Goofy's son was a calf. Technically, I mean, Goofy being a cow and his wife was a cow. Or, I mean, Goofy was a bull, essentially, and his wife was a cow. So, I mean, what would that make his son, James? That would make his son a calf.
Yeah, they have admitted.
That just ruined my childhood. Why? Because I called Goofy a cow? He is. He's a cow. He's not a dog.
Wait till they start.
My bad. Olivia came and sat down next to me, and she started laughing, and she's like, "Oh crap, my mic's on!" And she pushed it out the way. I didn't realize her mic was on.
But like,
you want to be in? You can.
My childhood has been repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly, like the stupid whole, like how they keep trying to defend Caillou. Right? They're like, oh, well, Caillou was like a kid with cancer or leukemia or whatever. That's why he was bald and acting away. He was a kid with cancer. And I'm like, no, he was a bald little... Yeah.
Say it.
To get his...
Just say it. Just say it.
I mean, but do we know that for a fact? Where was it ever stated on the show that he was a cancer patient?
It wasn't. It never was. That's why I'm saying, like, why do you guys got to come in with all these stories and be like, no, well, he was a cancer patient. He had leukemia. No, he didn't.
Now, James, this can't be real because if they would have switched his brain with Walt Disney, he wouldn't have dementia now. I think
Yeah,
that last fall on the stairs might have knocked something loose upstairs.
he would have came
now
out
he came.
with the Nazi salute.
Yeah, he would have built a new Disney World somewhere by now.
Maybe Trudeau's brain got swapped with Disney's.
I think Trudeau's brain got swapped with that one mayor that was openly doing drugs. What was his name?
Doug Ford.
Doug Ford, yeah.
Yeah, no, the crackhead mayor that even came out was like, I do crack. It's like, all right, thanks for being honest, bro.
Oh, he just said Winnie the Pooh is about mental health disorders.
It is.
Yes, I mean, the guy that saw all of those little animals, I believe he had schizophrenia.
Oh, there's a new horror movie that came out that's about imaginary friends, and I can't wait to watch it.
What's it called? I don't think I've heard about it.
I can't remember the name off the top right now. It was on my YouTube Shorts or something. It put it out. It's on Netflix, but I really want to watch it because these imaginary friends try to kill you.
Justin Trudeau is Boris Johnson's illegitimate. You know that almost well, it does kind of hold a little weight. They kind of act the same.
They do kind of act the same, but I'm still standing on the whole theory that he is that Cubans. The Cuban guy's son, because his mother actually had an affair with the dictator in Cuba.
Did she really? With Fidel Castro?
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense now.
And if you put their pictures side by side, he actually does have a lot of the same facial features as Fidel Castro. It's wild, actually. I almost believe the conspiracy theory, straight up. I'm like,
well, I mean, think about it. Some of the laws he's had passed up there, where nobody can share any social media unless it's state media approved. That's kind of communist.
I'll tell you
That's
this.
kind of dictatorship-ish.
There's a Russian lady that posts from the States. She moved from Russia just recently, within the last year or two. And she has flat out stated that when it comes down to certain freedoms, Russia actually has more freedoms in a lot of aspects than we do in Canada.
A lot of countries has more freedoms than we do here. So I believe it.
But yes, there is still those negative connotations that do go with it. I'm not going to forget that there is some of that. But I had an argument with somebody about it when we were talking about certain conspiracy theories today, and it wound up into a heated argument that it's well, in reality, who are we to say that those countries are like that, though? We only get given the propaganda, not the truth.
So old blackface Trudeau is a spawn of I have to say dictator. I can't say the other word. But yes. I mean, that's a conspiracy theory, don't get me wrong, but it's one that has nothing to not back it and nothing to back it. So, I mean, that's a theory. That's an actual conspiracy theory. What we're talking about here is ones that have no backing whatsoever.
Yeah, and it literally doesn't have any. The only backing people have is looking at pictures, comparing him to Pierre Trudeau and then comparing him to Fidel Castro. He doesn't look a lot like his dad. His dad too.
Did they actually do this up there?
Yep, they did.
For what? What was the reasoning behind that?
Because so basically, if you were donating to the trucker convoy or part of the trucker convoy, they had every right to seize and freeze your bank accounts and cancel your insurance policies. So they would call in and have your insurance and registration canceled on the vehicle you were operating. It didn't happen to every single member, because I was a member of the convoys. I just didn't go to Ottawa, obviously. I was like, I'm not giving up my whole life, my house, my job to go sit in Ottawa for 3 weeks. I can't do that. I need to pay my bills.
Okay. In that case, all of these people, and I want y'all to listen to what she's saying right now. All of these people that want to leave the United States and go to Canada, look at this. They froze people's personal checking accounts because they were protesting. Yep. What does that tell you about that country, and why would you want to go there?
No, we're legally not protest.
That right there That in the whole social order where only state media stuff that's approved goes out on Facebook,
Or
all of
Twitter.
that right there. And you see, that's the great thing about these Facebook Lives is they can't stop these.
No, they can't. But I'll tell you this right now. They started doing things like putting cell blockers and stuff in downtown Ottawa. We'd be trying to communicate with some of our friends back over there, and we couldn't. Like, they actually like set up cell blockers. They couldn't get anything in or out. Like, they couldn't call out. They couldn't get in.
I have a roll of Gorilla Tape. James says, I vote we rescue Jackie from Canada. Scoot, bring me the finest duct tape. Gorilla Tape it is. We're going to Gorilla Tape Jackie to the hood of the car and drive all the way to Louisiana.
Tell you this right now. There was I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago. They actually had to set up a new blockade because Canadians were hopping the border into Washington by going over the mountains. They would take their motorcycles and they actually put up barbed wire fence and stuff like that. I don't blame the Americans for doing it or the Canadians because we were illegally hopping the border and trying to seek refuge in the United States during that time.
Okay, now listen to this, guys. All of these leftists that say they're going to go to Canada if Trump gets elected, you already have people from Canada just trying to get into the United States because of the type of government they have there. So if that's your thing, by all means, go. By all means, go. We, as a matter of fact, what we can do is try to finance your going to Canada.
No, I still wear my stuff, especially now because a lot of them went back out again, but I just can't get behind going back into the activism right now. There was a lot of really negative stuff happening, so I couldn't, and a lot of really heavy conspiracy theorists started joining the movement and speaking about things and talking about things that I could not stand there and cheer behind them and be like, yes, we need to bring this up, because we don't. Let's leave the bug eating out of this. Let's leave all these. Let's fight with what we have in front of us. We can access any bill that's going before government. We can fight with that. Stop bringing up all this fake stuff that we have no backing for.
When I was in school, they were always telling us that the citizens of Russia, North Korea, and China are subjected to constant propaganda. Little did I know at the time it was my own government who was, yes, but that's every government. Every government has propaganda wars. Every single one. Russia has one of the weakest militaries in the world, and everybody still thinks they're a superpower. Russia's navies literally has been getting their rear ends handed to them by the Ukrainians, and they don't even have a navy.
No, they had
been sinking Russian ships left and right from the beach. I mean, come on. You know, they have one aircraft carrier, one major aircraft carrier. That's it. And it has to be towed everywhere because it constantly breaks down.
I'll tell you this right now. Somehow Canada is still considered a superpower, and we have like barely a military. We're lucky to even be standing at times because of, I hate to say it, outside of our citizens, if they militarized our citizens, that'd be different. But with just what we have in our military, and we sent most of our gear to Ukraine, so we have nothing here right now. It's all in Ukraine. We can't defend ourselves without the United States or England.
Build a wall at the northern border. That's where all the cold air comes from.
I've heard it.
So we're not worried about immigration or anything. We're just worried about the cold air. Build a wall. Is this referring to World War II or the missing German U-boats? I'm pretty sure are like all over the bottom of the ocean by now. I don't really think there's many of them that floating around anymore.
I mean, the tale behind some of those is a little interesting. It's one of those things where you're like, what do you believe in that instant of what happened with certain missing boats, missing cargo ships, missing airplanes that just disappeared and nobody can find them?
That is a conspiracy. Well, the only reason that's always been kind of like a half conspiracy theory is because nobody has any records of Hitler actually being dead. There's no pictures of his body. Yeah, there's no pictures of his body. There's no actual record of him dying. It was just hearsay that he committed suicide. Him and Eva Braun.
They did find his female counterpart's body, though. which is
Ava Braun. Yeah, but they didn't find him.
They did not find him, but they did find her. So that's what you want to
Okay,
believe.
but James, okay, here's the thing. If the German U-boats are docked, hidden in Siberia, that's World War II technology. What good would that do today? Honestly. That wouldn't do anything. Half of them probably wouldn't even run. And if they could get them to run, they'd probably sink because they're from the 40s.
Yeah, the technology wouldn't be up to date, and they're trying to claim that they have all this like laser ray ability with some of their boats and stuff like that. Like some of the stuff that was coming out of Russia and China and North Korea, they were putting out some of this propaganda of what their new boats and stuff were going to have that they were going to be testing out, and they were working on like plasma rays from the boats.
Yeah, like a rail gun. But the funny thing about it is that they say it, but there's no proof or no testing whatsoever. I'm sorry. Countries like that, if they had a technology that could do something like they claim they can do, they would have already showed it off.
Absolutely, they would have.
They would have melted a mountain somewhere with it, just to show that they could. And that's the thing, Robert. We don't know. We don't know. We've always been told that, but there's no pictures of his body. There's no actual documents saying he was dead. Ava Braun, yes, that's very well documented. She was dead. They found her body. But where did Hitler go? So, yeah, that's an actual conspiracy theory. Did he move to Venezuela and live out the rest of his life? Or did he actually die? We don't know. We don't know for sure. We'll probably never know.
Nope, but
they could retrofit. Yeah, but those things were extremely small. They were diesel powered. I mean, it would take more work to retrofit those than it would be just to build new ones. In all honesty. How did NASA lose the ability to get people to... They did not lose the ability. It's old tech. They just chose not to use it again. That tech is from the 60s. The new tech that they're working on is supposed to be more efficient. That's why it's taken so much longer to go back to the moon. But yes, there is a moon race.
There is
another moon race.
Theory from the people that do believe in moon landings from that side, that they found something on the moon that they didn't want to go back to deal with. They believe that they found something there.
I think what actually happened is that they landed there. That pretty much ended the space race with Russia. It costed billions and billions of dollars to actually do it. So what was the point in continuing at that time? Now there's another space race with China.
And it's also a space race of trying to get people to pay ridiculously large amounts of money for a trip to the ISS and back. Right? Like it's also now a money-making scheme, right?
Look, if that funds NASA because they no longer have, and NASA has lost a lot of their federal funding over the years, especially since the Challenger disaster. NASA has lost a lot of government funding. If they're selling tickets to get to the ISS just for vacations, to fund all of their research, then more power to them. I say go for it. If that's how they're getting their funding to keep going, absolutely.
They're going to bleed the rich people dry. It's going to be great, and it's going to be another Titan disaster. It's going to be great.
Now they're debating on whether they're going to use the Artemis rocket or SpaceX's Starship for the moon project. It's looking more like Artemis because it's more designed to get to the moon and back. The Starship is actually designed for long period travel, in a sense. Haunted moon cheese. Yep, that's probably what they found up there.
Haunted moon cheese.
The Transformers are on the dark side of the moon. Did you know actually there is no dark side of the moon? The moon actually does get sun all the way around it. We only see one side of it because that's the rotation of it. But it does get sun on all sides just like the Earth does. And I didn't know that. What's beyond the ice wall? A sober Hoey. One that doesn't drink.
A wild Jackie.
A wild Jackie and a James that doesn't have a hang up on tomato soup and
Yeah.
grilled cheeses.
Grilled cheese.
Look, they need to just F off into space and colonize it like every video game ever and leave the Earth as a sanctuary garden world. Pull out all the important people and just let us left behind. Mad Max's up, Warlords.
Warlords.
You know, it might be coming to that. It might be coming to that.
I'm down. I'm down.
Bless the dome. Okay, but here's the thing. Everybody talks about the Van Allen belt radiation. The funniest thing is that Van Allen himself says that if you cannot survive that radiation, something's wrong with you. Because you can literally wrap your spaceship in tinfoil and go through it. He says that himself. So why do these people keep getting hung up on this belt? Well, it's a radiation belt. You can't go through it. When Van Allen said himself, if you put tinfoil on everything, you can go straight through it.
That the way that the atmosphere and the stratosphere actually rotate around each other and do their movements, right? There is periodical spots where you get less. It's
resistance.
It's not consistent, right? Like it's not a consistent atmosphere. There are times there's times that are better to go than not. That's why they failed so many launches.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why spaceships have to be going so fast in order to leave the atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know, you do have to have a certain type of speed to actually get out of the atmosphere.
There is a lot of science supporting it.
Yeah, I remember that. She actually did say that. One of our great representatives in the United States said that we should go in and inspect the sun at night so nothing burns up.
Yeah.
It's a nuclear ball of fire. It doesn't turn off at night, you goofball. There are wolves in the exclusion zone that have mutated to the point that they thrive in the radiation. Let the smarty pants idiots go consume a dead wolf of science. That is completely true, because if you go around the entire Chernobyl site,
yep,
it's teeming with life. Fish, birds.
Yep, there's trees growing, there's greenery, like it's going great.
It looks normal. It looks normal, but it's still radioactive as hell in some spots. Sad thing is, we all know about space is simply what somebody else, usually a government official, has told. Not really.
And scientists, there's lots of scientists that have written books, people that have been there that have come back and written books. But like I did say, I do have a hard time believing that they broadcasted in the 60s from there. I don't think they were broadcasting at that time, because that's a technology we didn't have back then.
Actually, it was, because all it takes is regular radio broadcast. The thing is that it didn't happen as fast as people think it did.
Yeah.
It wasn't simultaneously. That video was probably shot and beamed back to Earth probably 3 hours before we actually saw it. So yeah,
that would make more sense. That would make more sense. But the fact that they're trying to say, oh, it was live and they were watching it and everybody was watching it live, I was like, well, I have a hard time believing that, because like I think they videotaped absolutely.
Look at this.
Broadcasting it.
This goofball right here on my screen is sitting right next to me and can talk in a microphone, but she's going to say she can't wait until they start giving us chips. I hope it's potato chips.
Are you talking about brain chips, like eye chips? What were you talking
I'm talking about like your microchips, like chips, like you can buy goods with. They're going to put it in your body so that you can go up to a vending machine, they scan it, kind of like you do with your Google Pay, Apple Pay.
I don't use it.
With your phone. But you know what I'm talking about? The tap and pay, you watch. It's going to happen. Maybe not in our lifetime, but it's going to happen.
This is actually a real thing, but he misspelled it. But Neuralink is a real thing. That is a chip that they install in your head to control certain things that might be screwed up.
Yep, don't get it, because they'll hack into it, and the next thing you know...
Yes, it was spelled wrong, homie, but it's okay. But Neuralink is a Elon Musk venture, and it's a real thing.
Yep, it's coming. Conspiracy number 297. Earth was once in a belt of super advanced planets, and the others got sick of our bullshit and hurtled Earth out of orbit.
Bullshit.
Play is lost in space theme. Earth is exile because our shenanigans. It was also the Gordita planet.
I think, okay, we were not in exile for our shenanigans. It was just mainly to keep Hoey away from the Gordita planet. That's what I'm going with. Hoey and Gorditas is not a good combination, period. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, now I'm hungry. I kind of want a Gordita.
I don't even know, does Taco Bell still serve those Gorditas?
Here they do. Yeah, it's the cheesy Gordita crunch.
I know they do chalupas still. I don't eat Taco Bell that much.
We don't have the chalupa at Taco Bell here. We still have the Crunchwrap Supreme, though.
Gorditas.
Yeah, I'm hungry now. Thanks, guys.
That's our next conspiracy theory, why Taco Bell took the Mexican pizza off the menu.
The Mexican pizza.
Jackie, can you hold a show for like a few minutes with Olivia? I have to go to the restroom.
Absolutely.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Hurry back.
But like, I'm curious about this Gordita planet. Like, did they grow it on the trees? Like, how did you get what's a Gordita planet? Were they walking Gorditas?
I don't know. I don't go to Taco Bell and only eat like a few items. That's it. I'm not a big Taco Bell fan.
I go there for their Crunchwrap Supreme. That's literally all I order. I've had a Gordita Crunch once. That was because somebody else ordered it for me. They're like, you have to eat this. But it's basically just a smaller Crunchwrap Supreme. So I would rather have the Crunchwrap Supreme. It's bigger.
I can't eat a lot at one sitting. I do small portions because I just can't handle a lot of food. So normally I just get a couple tacos and I'm good. But I'd rather make them at home because they just turn out better in my opinion. Yeah. But yeah.
James, I'm not reading that one. I'm not. You can have to Scott bring it up.
Scott is going to talk about it. You know he will.
Oh, absolutely he will. But what's with this whole thing? Like, what are we going to do if the conspiracy's real, that they're just going to start making all of our, like, Cheetos and stuff like that with cricket flour instead of, like, regular flour? Like, all my snacks are going to be ruined.
They doing that now?
They're saying they're doing it, but like
I only say because there's certain foods from when I was younger that I eat now, and it's like they don't taste the same.
Like mac and cheese, like the crap dinner, Katie. It doesn't taste the same as when I was a kid. I can't eat it now.
The cheese for the Kraft macaroni and cheese tastes different now compared to when we were kids. When I was a kid, it seems a lot lighter orange than it did at one point. But that could be just me.
No, and it doesn't taste so cheesy either. Like, it tastes like less cheesy. Like, I don't know. It doesn't taste right. That's all. It don't taste right. Maybe they make it with cricket flour. Maybe that's what's wrong with it. But that's also, like I said, a conspiracy theory that doesn't have much backing. And that we're all eating insects and we don't know it.
Now, strange comments from the comment section.
Oh, God. I specifically said I wasn't reading it.
And this is what Hoey thinks about it. Lee Houston says, make your own cheese sauce.
I mean, yeah, I can do that, but, like, we're just saying it's different. It's not the same.
I mean... that's hard to say. I mean, that's true. The protein part, that is definitely true.
It is.
But, I mean, the FDA already has guidelines for how much stuff could be in processed food, which is kind of creepy, but yeah. Okay.
Covering me in various things, like, why?
Why are you covering her in roasted garlic crickets?
Masters.
Are you talking about the Smash Burger guy? Or
Wait, what?
Are you talking about the Smash Burger guy?
The Smash guy, we all shared a serial killer. Like
Because
what?
I don't know if I heard that one. I know he just kind of like dropped off the map one day, but I didn't know the reason behind it. Is that the reason? Was he a serial killer?
We just opened a bunch of Smash
Yes.
Burgers. We never had Smash Burger till this year. Now we have Smash Burger. So I'm curious, which like I haven't heard anything about
sure.
Smash Burger. I haven't even eaten there.
Not sure. Olivia's asking me if it's like the guy that used to go smash, smash, smash. Hoey. That question's for Hoey. No, actually, I don't believe. I think the FDA just puts guidelines in place to appease the people.
They work with
I
the
really
World
don't-
Health Organization way too much to care about our health.
The dude in the smash gif.
Yes.
Yes,
He
yes,
is a
he was a serial killer.
Yep. I saw the
Yep. Was Jack from Jack in the Box jacking it in the box or jacking the box off in it? Say that fast 40 times. That's a tongue twister.
Like the
Yes,
new
Olivia, that guy.
the new Disney tongue twister.
Okay, I can agree with that. I mean, that's a question for Jack. We need to get Jack on the show. That seems like an important question. I'm not sure. Is that important or not?
I'm pretty sure it was option A. I'm pretty sure he was jacking it in the box.
Could
But we
you
never
imagine
had
being a
Jack-
character where they can hear your voice on every commercial, but they never see your head because it's a big ball? It's a big snowman head.
See, we never had Jack in the Box here, so we never got to try it. But I got to see the commercials all the time, and it was definitely odd. Like, did you know that when you guys are talking about all the funny things Wendy's is doing when Wendy's is going like batshit on their Facebook?
On
When
Twitter
I go,
and
well,
Facebook.
when we go to look at it, we don't get to see any of that fun stuff. We only get to see Canadian Wendy's, and they're boring. They don't do anything fun.
You see, the
Screen-
Wendy's X account, we can't call it Twitter anymore because, you know, Elon. But the Wendy's X account is like absolutely savage and will just attack people. And then the Wendy's Facebook account is like this old person that doesn't know how to use a phone. And it's some of the funniest stuff. Apparently, it's this guy married to this lady named Barb, and he's like 86 years old, apparently, because that's how he types. And it's just some of the weirdest stuff.
I keep going to want to read it, and I can't read it. It's so depressing.
Okay, exactly what would that line consist of? Would that be like cattle brains?
Is Courtney Love going to be a special on there as like a chicken burger?
Well, they already have a Courtney Love sandwich. It's called a roast beef sandwich. Just don't order it with gravy.
They don't even eat the roast beef sandwiches at Arby's. I get their market fresh sandwich, the same one every time I go. The turkey bacon ranch.
Arby's is the funniest place ever because their roast beef is like second to none. So you always get the same quality from whichever one you go to. But none of them ever have any customers. It's like, how in the world are y'all even staying open? You can go to any Arby's at any time of the day or night. Doesn't matter what time it is, and there's absolutely no one there. And it's like all of the employees must live there because nobody drives a car. There's no cars in the parking lots.
Didn't you say Arby's roast beef came from a tube?
Yes, it actually does come from a tube.
Hey.
But I mean,
All
to
on
be fair, every fast food restaurant is horrible.
The only reason that I did start going there too, though, is because Arby's, at least in Canada, is the only place that has curly fries on the menu.
I am going to not picture this because you're going to ruin Arby's for me. Think about
I
that.
need to pack an extra bowl with that.
Why would you do this to me, James? I have a very impressionable mind. Don't do this to me, because now every time I go to Arby's, I'm never going to be able to look at a beef and cheddar sandwich the same.
Jackie down here in Louisiana, when I moved down here, I remember going to, he took me someplace, I think it was Jack in the Box, ordered me a large fry. They come out curly fry. I'm like, why did I get curly fries? Well, because that's what we get for fries down here. If you want regular fries, you have to ask for them.
Yes.
Okay. Because down here, you can find your curly fries everywhere.
Yeah, you have to ask for like regular French fries.
But check in your grocery store, because they might sell Arby's curly fries in them, because they do have them down here in the grocery stores. Arby's curly fries.
Yeah, they're frozen fries. You just throw them in a fryer, just like you do regular French fries.
You know, I used to
They're
think
pretty
of
good.
one of the perfect business ideas. I was going to get into the business of curly fries. And I was going to have two brands. I was going to have one that was just your average curly fries. And then there was going to be a more expensive brand that was bags of all perfectly curled curly fries.
Sounds
That
like a
was
really
my-
good business idea.
It was, I was full blown on it. And then I realized that it was kind of not a good one. But somebody should do it. Somebody that cares about potatoes, because I don't care about potatoes.
That's okay. Yesterday I saw a video of a potato guy. He's a vendor over in the UK, and he has a little food truck where he sells baked potatoes, and you can get them any way you want. Now, keep in mind, this is the UK. They put baked beans on their baked potato.
They put baked beans on toast for breakfast.
When I saw that, I was like, what? But yeah, I have to find that video.
That's
Oh,
just
babe,
enough.
do we have any British listeners here today? Could you explain why y'all love beans so much? Oh, look,
Right.
Jackie actually went outside. That's a first.
Yeah, we're at the over 1 hour mark.
Are you wanting to shut it down? Is that what's happening, or? Fish fries?
No, I just wanted to go inside.
Like, what do you mean fish fries? Like,
Probably instead of French fry.
oh, fish fry. Okay. Oh, the closed caption on here. Fish fries. No, not fish fries, Facebook. French. Sacre bleu. French.
Fish fries.
Fish
God.
fries. That would be fish sticks. Rally's frozen curly fries. I'm just saying. They sell Rally's, like the Rally's fries, where you can buy it in a bag and like fry it at home? Is that what you're getting at?
I think so.
Have you heard the legend of Alphys the Wide? It's not a tale the belly button society would tell you. They say he lubed his wheelchair rails with beans.
Oh, dear.
Jesus.
Definitely one of the more interesting brains we have around here.
Yeah, this was supposed to be a show about conspiracy theories.
I think the biggest conspiracy theory that we can get to the bottom of is James and Hoey not being separate people.
They have to be. They have to be. I can't see them being the same person. Hoey's name is Hoey for a reason.
Yeah, but James is kind of hoeing it around a little.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's like in soup. We'll just put it that way. And grilled cheeses.
The conspiracy theory that chili is actually soup.
See, this is case in point right here.
It's more like a stew, honestly.
All I heard was Jackie cover Jackie in macaroni and cheese.
But stew is also made with a broth, which makes stew and chili soup. That's my conspiracy theory. I'm sticking to it.
Wait. Say that again, because it kind of cut out a little bit.
Well, stew is made with a broth. So if chili's
Okay.
like a stew and stew is made with a broth, stew is a soup, which makes chili a soup. It's in the soup family. It's got its own branch and everything. Noodle noises.
So is spaghetti like actually just chili with spaghetti noodles?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay, so that's the new conspiracy theory. Chili is spaghetti is actually chili with noodles.
It ties into the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster theory because then the spaghetti monster from the primordial soup. It works. I can feed into this religion very well.
Yeah. No, don't start this, please. We had this debate the other day. A hot dog is not technically a sandwich. It would
Chad
be more like a
agrees on that,
sub.
that hot dog is a sandwich. Chad does agree on that one because it's meat between two buns. Therefore, it's a sandwich. So is a burger.
So, okay, now this is something. Angel hair noodles go in chili. This is something I would probably actually try. Think about it. If you like chili and crackers, it's pretty much the same thing. It's just noodles.
I prefer my chili in a bread bowl.
That sounds good, actually.
I put peanut butter in my chili.
I'm allergic.
See, that's
to
weird.
that.
Peanut butter is good in your chili.
No, it's not. I don't care what she says.
Yes, it
That's
is.
weird. My
If
dog
she
is
wasn't allergic, I would tell her to try it. But she's allergic. So.
Yeah. It's an unfortunate twist of events. Because some of those things sound really good. Like Nutella. Oh, I want to try Nutella so bad.
So, let me ask you a question. Did you always have a nut allergy, or did it come later in life, or?
I didn't eat nuts much as a child. We discovered it middle in my life when I decided to pig out on a giant bag of assorted nuts, and I was eating them, and my whole face swelled up. And they're like, "Oh, I'm like, so
It's funny.
Mhm.
It's really strange how allergies work. Because my ex-mother-in-law is a prime example of that. She loved strawberries, ate them her entire life. And then when she hit like 56 years old, she ate a strawberry one day and broke out in hives. And then all of a sudden she was allergic to strawberries. She couldn't eat them anymore.
Yeah, like I think the only thing
Yes.
with nuts in it that I ate as a child was the Kraft peanut butter, like the smooth peanut butter. I enjoyed peanut butter toast. But when I went to go eat actual, like a bag of like actual nuts, done.
Wow. So you could eat peanut butter at that time, but not actual nuts. Now you can't eat peanut butter.
Now I'm scared to eat peanut butter. I haven't tried.
At least you're not literally allergic to watermelon. The gods have cursed me in the worst way.
I mean, that does suck. My penicillin allergy really sucks too for if I ever get sick and need antibiotics.
And he lives in a warm area, so to be allergic to something like watermelon is just like a double slap in the face.
That's rude.
Not only do you not get to participate in something delicious, you don't get to participate in something that'll cool you off.
Especially those ones we had last summer.
Yes, we had golden watermelons last summer.
Oh my gosh.
The best watermelons that we've ever eaten.
They're to die for.
Yeah, one of our neighbors grows them and sells them. He brought us like tons of them last year.
That sounds
Chemical
good.
reaction structure in your body resets every 7 years. Now, where did that come from? Is that like an actual medical document, or is that just something you read online somewhere? And I'm not saying that to be mean or anything. I'm genuinely curious.
I know I know your skin cells regenerate every 7 years. I have heard about that. Like your actual epidermis, it changes because you shed like dead skin and stuff like that. So like, yeah, most of your cells die and regenerate within 7 years.
Hoey says I'm laughing for all the wrong reasons.
Probably.
Robert says allergies are okay. Just don't get a venereal disease and you'll be fine. I don't know how that works, but more power to you there, buddy.
I'm glad that. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Manilow.
Oh God, I would die.
Oh, I only
Cheese
have
is
the
like one of my
lactose
favorite
intolerant.
things.
That's all I have
Dairy.
to do.
Dairy, period, is one of my favorite things. I swear, if I couldn't eat cheese, I would die. If I was lactose intolerant, I would have a miserable life.
Yeah.
I choose to suffer, especially when I get like that. When they finally bring Trix into the stores, I'll sit down with a box of Trix cereal and my milk, and I'll just go to town, and I'll suffer for it. But I take the suffer.
Okay, now you see this, I can actually identify with part of this because I used to be like really allergic to poison ivy. Now I can damn near eat it, and it doesn't do anything to me. I don't break out in a rash or anything. I get stung by a bee. All it is a little mark on my arm. It hurts, but I don't swell up or anything.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I could literally go outside and just grab poison ivy or poison oak off a fence and just rip it down with my bare hands and not have to worry about it.
Well, I hope that's true because I gave myself a bee allergy. You can actually develop an allergy from like basically overdosing on something. So when I was a child, I decided to beat down a bee's nest, and I got stung in the face by an entire hive of bees. Like my face was swollen up, and they're like, "Yeah, so unfortunately, you do have an allergy to it now. Like you can't actually intake any more bee toxin, or you will die."
Robert says because he's allergic to penicillin, his doctor told him to be careful where he puts his willy.
Ah. See, the doctors kept wanting to give me penicillin for. I gave myself a really bad infection in my knee when I cut my knee open and had to get 27 stitches in it. Yeah. They were like, well, now we have to bring you in for IV antibiotics because we can't give you penicillin. So, and penicillin's the fastest acting antibiotic you can get.
Oh, he's allergic to monogamy. He breaks out in spores and tentacles made of Worcestershire. I mean, the first part of that is definitely true.
He just wanted you to say that. That's the only reason he wrote that.
I think he purposely put stuff in the comment section just to hear me say it in radio voice, so he could laugh about it. I think that's what it is.
It is 100% what it is. Like, it sounds great to be announced like this.
I'm just waiting for the next wow comment to pop up. Okay, yeah, I have to agree with that. Okay. All right. No ill will. No ill will. He is angelic. Emu is a special bird.
The Australians lost the war to emus.
I still think that's the funniest thing that the government ever did. They had all of this crap going on, so they just decided that was the perfect time to announce that, yes, there are UFOs. Yes, there are things flying through our sky that we can't identify. Yes, there are aliens. And the American public was just like, okay. Nobody cared. Nobody cared at all. It was like the most non-newsworthy thing out there. Everybody was like, yeah, whatever. We're all starving to death. We can't leave our house. There's a pandemic going on, and you're telling us about aliens. We don't care. Just shut up.
But when the aliens showed up in Miami, everybody lost their minds.
I told him that in confidence. God damn it. I'm more octopus than emu.
So Hoey breaks out into James.
I get a lot of people don't believe the government, but this is something they tried to keep secret since the 40s. Area 51 is blatantly out there. Everybody knows it's out there, but the government still claims it doesn't exist. And I think that's absolutely hilarious. There's like millions of pictures of this place everywhere. Oh, yeah, that's not actually there. You're seeing things. Come on.
I mean, when they wanted to storm Area 51, it is still the funniest thing that ever came out was when they wanted to do that. And then a year after that was when the pandemic hit, and then they decided to out aliens. But they were like,
Now they're declassifying documents about Area 51 about how that's where they test most of the new fighters and stuff. You know, and it's like, why? We all knew it was there. Just say what it is. We know it's there. We can see it. People drive up to the damn signs all the time and take pictures of it.
Yep.
You know, stop telling us it's not there.
People know it's there. Well,
James says Area 51. So that's why that government cheese is so good. Now it makes sense.
so what's the big deal on them wanting to keep hiding certain things like it? Well, like Bigfoots. Because like where in BC they love to talk about like the Sasquatches. And if you talk to people that actually like have read and actually believe these things, there's not just one. So like the idea of Bigfoot in those mountains, because they live in the mountains that go down into the States, which is why there's sightings of Bigfoot down there. They're the same thing, the Sasquatch and the Bigfoot, apparently. But like they live all over the mountain ranges. There's families of them, apparently.
Why hasn't anybody seen them?
That's what I'm wondering. People say they hear them all the time. People say they've seen them and gotten blurry pictures, but like, that's about it. I'm like, but if there's groups of them and there's a lot of them, why aren't we?
This
I don't know.
Aliens, when Independence Day came out, the commercials had my cousin terrified. She thought it was real. Is your cousin okay? Have y'all gotten her help since then? Because, yeah. The Sasquatch race is an offshoot of mountainous hillbillies crossbreeding with wandering redcoats. What in the world? Hi, Guy. How are you today? I see the pooch.
Yeah, Thor realized what was going on. Decided to get out of
Thor's
bed.
like, she's on live. I have to make my presence known.
Everybody must know that I am the dog.
I am the dog. I am Thor.
I protect her from the Sasquatches.
I will never let a Sasquatch in this house, for I am Thor. He's a beautiful dog. What kind of dog is he?
He's an Anatolian Shepherd.
He's beautiful.
He's a good boy.
And he's a big baby too, isn't he? I can tell by the way he's acting with you. He's just a big old baby.
He's trying to get on my lap.
Yeah, ours are back here behind us fighting with each other right now with toys.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Pluto a little bit. Our hound.
A
But
hound.
she's around here somewhere.
Oh.
Pluto's probably eating something in my studio right now behind me. I just don't see him.
Okay, the dogs are going to take over the world one day. That we just don't know it. They're just biding their time till they can overtake the cats.
They'll never overtake the cats.
Ever.
See, dogs have owners, which are us, right? Cats don't have owners. They have staff. We just work for them.
I don't know. I feel like a slave right now. I'll tell you that.
No, I mean, still, if you just like, hey, dog, go away and leave me alone, you know, great.
That don't work.
Cats are vindictive. Especially ours. We have 2 of them in this house that purposely knock stuff down so the dogs can eat it.
Oh, that's my couch. My shoes, glasses. I don't have a strainer anymore. He ate the strainer.
Put her over here. I have the littlest one right next to me right now.
He's very
Dixie
vindictive.
Moon. Look, this is Dixie. See her?
I can see her a little bit. I can see her little snout.
Yeah, she's full grown. She's 3 years old now. She'll never get any bigger than that. She's a dwarf.
No.
She's half blue tick, half beagle. So but she's a dwarf. She never grew out of it. And she looks like a little weenie dog. She's tiny. And she loves me, apparently.
Beagle dogs are some of the best dogs, though. I love them. They've got some of the best personality on them next to huskies. The husky personality is a personality to die for.
And they're very, very, both of these little beagles we have are very protective over this house. Like if somebody comes to the door and they hear the chime go off, they go retarded. They just go crazy. They start barking and fighting, and I mean, they're like, let me at the door. And all it takes is the little ring chime. All they have to do is just pass in front of our door and they go off. It's the craziest thing.
The only thing that makes him start going off is somebody walks by with another dog.
Yeah, that's true. Dog people, I did research and decided on this breed. Cat people, hey, look at my new friend. I found it in the trash can. That is true.
It's not true for me. The dog, we actually wanted to get a Newfoundland dog. That's what we wanted. But we found a poster in a gas station, and Thor's face was on it, and we were like,
that's James.
We're taking it. They told us it was a Great Pyrenees, but he's not a Great Pyrenees.
The former cult of Roz says dogs are simply reincarnated humans. Miss Cleo said so.
Okay, so who is Miss Cleo?
You don't know who Miss Cleo is? No. Oh my God, man. Like back in the 90s, she used to have like thousands of commercials and a 1-900 number. It was Miss Cleo's psychic hotline. You could call and they would give you psychic readings for like $2.99 a minute or some ridiculous mess like that. And I mean, it was always these late night commercials and they would run for hours. You know, that and like timeshare infomercials, you know, back in the 90s. That was all of the nighttime programming for television. It was horrible. What about raccoon people? How dare you know? Raccoons have an opposable thumb. And that right there makes them scary to me.
Yeah, raccoons are kind of janky.
That's a janky animal. I don't care what anybody says.
But they're also super adorable and make good house pets after you train them.
Well, Hoey, if you need a psychic reading, just call the hotline here.
I'll go grab my cards.
Just call the hotline here. Jackie will do a free reading for you right here live on the air. Hold on, let's wait for the number to roll around because I done forgot it already again. It's a 1-800 number, Hoey. You can call it for free. Just wait for the ticker to roll around. Come on, ticker, hurry up.
Yeah, there's a lot of information.
I don't think anybody reads any of that anyway. Call now. 1-844-799-WCHR. That's 1-844-799-9247. And it's a toll-free call, Hoey. We won't charge you $2.99 a minute like Miss Cleo.
Man, your dogs are whining up a storm.
They're playing, actually.
Oh, okay. It sounded like when Thor's trying to get the Husky's attention across the street.
No, that's Harry, our little rat terrier. He has an anxiety disorder, I think, and he just gets really loud when you're playing with him. And he'll start whining and stuff. Raccoons with guns mounted on penguins and geese. That's scary.
I like that idea.
I do too. I mean, I can like help. I
love how her microphone is on, but she's got it turned away from her and then still tries to talk.
Like I could get behind that. Like I've already worked on militarizing the penguins. The geese are already militarized on their own. So
I'm with Jackie on the penguin thing though. I already said that on Sunday. I'm with Jackie on the penguin thing.
But like I need the
geese.
Americans to get the guns for them because guns are illegal in my country.
Are they really?
Yeah. Only single bolt, only like hunting rifles. That's all you can have.
Well, I mean, the geese are kind of militarized anyway because they attack everyone and everything. They don't care.
Birds aren't real.
No, birds are definitely real, and they're very mean.
That's another wild conspiracy theory that birds are just government agents.
They're government drones.
Birds are government drones.
Yeah.
Okay, we can add that one to the list of ridiculous conspiracy theories for today.
But is that all birds? But because chickens are technically birds, aren't they?
Yeah.
Chickens are evil. I believe that they're but they're also stupid enough to kill themselves. I mean, so
turkeys are like that too. If a turkey's outside in the rain,
it'll look up and drown itself.
It'll look up and drown itself.
It's kind of like a
how do
dodo,
you even
though.
do that?
Dodos were like that. If you believe in the dodo birds.
Actually, why not? There are so many things that are no longer around because they went extinct. Look at Australia.
Yeah, and dodo birds
Well, I mean,
went
there's a lot of species of animals that went extinct during our lifetime.
Yeah.
You know, but birds are definitely real. Birds are angry little animals, and birds like to attack people, especially Canadian geese.
Oh boy.
I'm going on record. I'm going on record with that.
I all right. I got you with that. They're quite. I'd love to have an army of geese too, though. That's why we call them cobra chickens.
Covert chickens?
Cobra. Have you seen the way that they snake their heads around and hiss at you? Like geese literally like snake their heads and like.
But what's the noise they make? You want to replicate the noise for us? No, that's a cobra. I'm talking about geese.
That's the sound they make when they come to attack you.
They hiss?
They hiss.
Are you serious? They hiss?
Yes, they hiss.
I've never heard a goose. I've never heard a goose hiss before.
I'll go through my videos and I'll send you a video of it because I do have a video of a goose hissing at me.
Oh, he says snaking heads and hissing sounds like my ex. That means buyer beware. Chad, we all say a prayer for you.
Luckily, Chad's at work right now.
Yes, we are, Hobo. We're actually at 1 hour and 41 minutes now because we just can't shut up. And I have nothing better to do, and neither does Jackie, so we're here. We're talking about conspiracy theories today. What's the most ridiculous conspiracy theory you've heard out there? That's today's question.
I mean, if anybody knows about the Sasquatches, it's Hobo too.
Well, I mean, Hobo is a Sasquatch.
Exactly.
Have you ever seen him?
I've seen him a couple times. He's hopped on the lives. But
I could talk bad about him because he's from Louisiana like I am. So.
But I imagine him being very tall.
Hey, Hobo was one of the smart Louisianians and moved out of the state. I was one of the stupid ones and stayed. Is that your conspiracy theory or is that an actual thought? That's my question. The African Americans. Okay, that African Americans are the real Native Americans. I mean, if you want to go...
If we evolved from monkeys, how are there still monkeys?
Okay, I can explain this one too, but let's get with this one right here. If you want to get down to brass tacks, humanity originated in Africa. So technically, everyone that lives here is African Americans.
But at one point, all the continents were one continent.
Pangea, but this was before Pangea. I mean, this was after Pangea. This is when like Alaska was still connected to Russia. You know,
with the Bering
Strait.
Yeah.
Right. That's when humans migrated into North America. Sorry.
No, it makes sense though. Like, I'm just still kind of wondering how it would, like, no, I can't function it. Because it is, yeah, that's just it. Like, the mammals didn't exist during, so what was around during Pangea? Because there would have been life forms. Like, are we talking like that was like primordial soup time?
Hold on, we have dog issues at the moment. We're working on this technical difficulty. So here's the thing. If we evolved from monkeys, how are there still monkeys? Because what we evolved from weren't monkeys in the first place. It was its own species. It was a primate species. Just like there's different grades of monkeys, like baboons, chimpanzees, and all of that other stuff. We were just one of the species that got ahead. So technically, there's no monkeys that are associated with us. Our DNA is similar to theirs. They're distant cousins to humanity. But so are all the rest of them. Different species. I mean, technically it's right, because like I said, everything migrated from that area. Yeah, it is. Mammals didn't exist during Pangea.
I don't believe that one, though. That's what I'm really thinking hard about right now.
Even claim that the real Egyptians are in the Grand Canyon. Yeah, no.
No, there's a different theory going on about the Grand Canyon. When they used to mine for gold there, they found certain tunnels apparently. And that's why you can't actually navigate into the Grand Canyon. If you get too close, like military planes will fly in and come and like get you out of there. Like you're not allowed to be in there. There is something in the Grand Canyon.
Well, I mean,
that. I don't think it's the real Egyptians, but there's some kind of material, like mineral deposit they don't want people messing with.
James, I did not know that. I will check into that for you, because it should work. I know it works on regular landlines. I don't know why Google Voice it wouldn't work, but I'll look into that for you. Let me go ahead and respond to you here too.
Humans were seeded on this planet by aliens. I've heard that one too. Oh, Harsh is awake. Morning, Harsh.
Let's see. All I know is that there's no way I'm related to Oprah in any way. How do you know that, sir? Robert, we're going to ask you to go participate in 23andMe and get your genetics done. I want to see what you are. Humans were seeded on this planet by the aliens. Come on, guy. We don't know that. We don't know that.
No, but it is a wild conspiracy theory. It is.
The Native American one, they claim they could ship that many people from Africa, i.e. where are the ships, etc. I mean, there were trade ships. They came across on trade boats. You know, it's no different than container ships of today. We won't, you know, the society 500 years from now probably won't even know about those boats. And where are they going to go? They're going to go to scrap yards. Har says, Lee Houston, what up, Lee? Never mind. How many people came in ships from Europe, and where are those ships, i.e. wood rots? Well, yeah, I mean, some say the Grand Canyon was where the flood from the Bible happened. Nah, I can't see that. Why there? And there's no evidence that flood ever actually happened. That's just a story in a book.
They're trying to say that they do have evidence that it happened and that they found the Ark on top of a mountain.
Hoey is 1/9 Apache helicopter. Okay, I'm going to put the Ark in perspective for people, okay? I really don't care what your belief is religiously. I really don't. It doesn't matter to me. You can believe whatever you want to believe. But seriously, imagine a guy building a boat and then taking every species on the planet, every single one of them, male and female. Do you realize how big that boat would actually have to be?
Yep. And he built that by himself, supposedly.
How?
And then they lived on it for 40 days and 40 nights. Well, it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. And then for how long they were stuck on that boat for. some of those some of those other animals would have like killed the other animals on that ship.
I mean, the size of the boat itself is unfeasible. To be able to fit every single species in that boat. I mean, come on. I believe Jackie seduced a flying spaghetti monster with a single glance.
Really?
It's possible. Columbia River Basin was formed from a series of ice wall scenario, aka Ice Age, the movie. Isn't the Ark a casino in Branson? I'm not sure. I'm not going to Google that.
No, it showed up on one of my YouTube videos when I was scrolling the other day, and they found the Ark. Here's photo proof, and I'm like, no, the Ark was real. No, I don't know what they found on top of the mountain. I'm thinking it might actually just be a rock structure that's looking like a mountain, because that's what the picture looked like to me. I have an FBI friend that says the Grand Canyon was created by electrical discharge mining.
James, the way that the call-in number works is just like a regular radio call-in line. It would just put you live on air. You would be able to hear us talk. We'd talk to you on the phone. Doesn't display anything on the screen. I have a Facebook friend who says the Grand Canyon was created by electrical discharge mining. How? If that was the case, the edges of the canyon wouldn't follow the river. I mean, the whole canyon is made out of sandstone. You really think water can't cut that down over a few thousand years to make what it made? Yeah, welcome back, Jackie. I see you left for a split second.
Oh, did I?
Like a split second, you just disappeared off the screen and came back.
Oh.
The funny thing is, it did, though. Literal mile-high ice walls in eastern Washington and Idaho giving way to glacial melting. Well, that's a lot of canyons and, a lot of valleys and stuff like that were created like that. I mean, ice is a big thing, dude. You take water and you freeze it, it expands. So imagine what it does to land, especially when it's migrating. Like when the ice is migrating around. I.e. lighting, yeah. Or does the river follow the canyon? Water is a natural thing. It literally cuts things into rock. Water literally landscaped every river basin there is. I mean, come on, dude. If that was the case, then we wouldn't have water anywhere. Or everything would be salt water. Everything would be connected.
Well, it's kind of like if you think about the Skeena River, like it's salt water for a certain period, and then it filters all the salt out as it goes through the river.
Right. Water is one of the few materials that expands, has less volume when it is solid. Right. So, I mean, if you have ice migrating over property, it's going to change the outlook and the scenery on that. I mean, it's generally going to change everything because it's going to move everything. Oh. Conspiracy theories around that just does not make any sense.
No.
Because, I mean, it's all based on scientific theory. It's all based on, like, actual documentation.
Yeah, but these people want to discredit these scientists. They want to try to prove that these scientists are just quacks and don't know what they're talking about.
Well, I mean, common sense also plays a part in that. You know, sometimes the science is needed to actually understand something, but once you read the science and you apply common sense to it, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So the conspiracy theories don't make any sense at that point.
No, a good chunk of them don't. There's like I said, but in every theory, there's that middle little bit of truth that gets people to believe it, because there's always that small amount of truth that it's based off of. It's just over exaggerated exceedingly.
If the Ark existed, now this is actually a good point. It's either petrified wood embedded in a foreign mountain somewhere, frozen somewhere, or at this point, dust. Knowing how everything is distorted in history, the Ark may not have even been a ship. It was likely some dude named a Noah's chamber pot. And that's the truth. It could have been a mountain civilization as far as we know if they actually had a flood back then. Because it would literally be impossible to build a boat that big.
No, it would. And then to wait for that amount of water that you're saying that it flooded the whole world, right? To wait for that amount of water to recede, that's a lot of time stuck on a boat with very limited food resources to feed how large his family. And
absolutely. Corporized science hasn't helped that topic. Saw it firsthand in Boeing. Well, I mean, to be fair, for people who use duct tape to try and put door plugs in a 737 and can't understand why it blew out the side of the plane, yeah, I agree with you on that one. The Ark was probably an allegory. It's very possible. I can't see it being a boat because, you know, that would be physically impossible. Unicorn skeletons. Maybe that's why we don't have unicorns today, because they died on the Ark.
Where do you think narwhals came from?
Water unicorns. Narwhals. I mean, that's essentially what they are. Water unicorns.
They are. So, like, I think you like there's your proof that unicorns did exist. Narwhals.
The Love Boat. CSHR radio version.
No.
Between Soup and Jackie.
Me and Soup do not love each other. I'm haunted by Soup at this point.
And when I seen that magazine cover on the Herbalations page this morning, I about died.
Yeah. I was sitting there this morning and I was like, well, let's post it. I'm like, let's get the love going. I wanted to fix the quality a little bit because it was a little, when I reposted it, it lost a lot of quality, it looks like.
It was a small picture, it looked like, because I couldn't even blow it up on the computer.
Oh.
So, Jay, I tell you what, James, if you're still listening, if you could go back and reformat that picture and make it bigger so it retains its quality. You know, oh, look, it's starting again. So, unicorn boinked a whale. Narwhal sounds like a Facebook date. Well, to be fair, I've seen some women that kind of resemble narwhals on Facebook. This is in response to this comment right here. Jackie Soup Bath? Yes.
Jackie Soup Bath. Great.
I can see this now. This is not going to be anything that ends anytime soon.
No, it's the gift that doesn't stop giving.
It's like one of those cheese of the month clubs. It's the gift that never stops giving. You get a free cheese every month.
That kind of sounds like a VD as well.
Who has harshest bottle? That's a harsh question. I seen him in the comments for like 2 seconds, and now I don't see him anymore. He just disappeared. Okay, we got a resized version of it. All right, cool. So let's see if we can fix this.
James was like, gotcha.
Yeah, he immediately messaged that over. So what do I call this? What do you want me to name this picture, Jackie?
I don't even know. Let's ask the lovely artist.
James, what would you like for me to name this picture before I save it? You're going to have to read it to me, Jackie, because I can't see that screen right now.
Oh, yes. All I can see is Harsh's bottle. Sherbert Walker, it's your time to change his diaper.
Oh, goodness. Harsh, they're talking bad about you. These are your friends. Go get them. Go kill them. File name. Come on, James. Help me out here.
What do you name your lovely piece?
What do you want your artwork to be named?
April
Should I play
edition?
should I play the Jeopardy music?
James is not. He finally hummed.
What did you say? I can't see it.
He just said he's thinking. He needs a second to think.
All right. Is that where that smoke is coming from in my studio right now?
The delicatessen of the month.
Delicatessen of the month.
Insert Jeopardy. Harsh's birthday is in 15 days.
All right, so the file name is going to be delicatessen of the month.png, and I'm going to post it in our chat. And then Jackie can blow it up as needed. That sounds so bad. That sounds just so horrible.
Apparently talking smack about Harsh is a surefire way to conjure him onto the screen.
Did he pop up?
No, that's what Hobo said.
Wait, what is this right here? I'm liking and respecting Max. Absolutely. It's in the chat. I'm just reading through stuff. I'm trying to find this doggone picture now because I lost it in the.
Buy your liver flowers now. What liver flowers?
All right, I found it. Okay, there it is. That's the resized version of the picture in the chat right now.
Perfect.
As a matter of fact, I could put it on screen for everyone to see. It's
it's something else.
Share screen.
It is something.
That's the Jackie Hyde magazine cover right there.
Courtesy of James.
Courtesy of James Rowe.
The delicatessen of the month.
All right, so let's get to this. See, no, it's not working. He's just not here. Buy your liver flowers now.
No,
Harsh Med, good to see you, bro. Where is he? I don't see him.
Harsh went back to bed.
Did he?
Had enough of your guys' shenanigans.
Harsh's birthday is hell on our livers.
Oh. Harsh's birthday is hard on our liver as well. Harsh's
liver is probably non-existent now at this point.
Oh, most definitely not. That poor guy. But on the plus side, he's attempting to lose weight.
Harsh is doing his hair.
No, Harsh is scared of being cannibalized. He's not coming. He's at the gym.
He's at the gym trying to build his weight, lose some weight so Jackie doesn't kill him. Yes, Jackie's already said that if the world ends tomorrow, she's eating Harsh.
Oh my gosh, that's tomorrow where the lovely world's gonna end because of the eclipse.
Wait, is that another conspiracy theory that's out there? The world's gonna end because of the eclipse?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, April 8th, the world's gonna end because of the eclipse.
But why? Why would it end?
In the United States, it travels precisely over 5 cities named Nineveh, and then it ends in rapture when it exits the states. So it's going to end the world.
So, okay. So on April 8th, if the rapture occurs, we literally lose every annoying person on the planet. Yep. I can't see that. I can't say that I would disagree with that.
I already said that's partially why James is hung up on my birthday suit for the eclipse. Covered
He
in
wouldn't
tomato
fit in a
soup
pot.
because I said I was gonna stand outside naked and wait to be raptured.
Why would you stand outside naked?
'Cause I don't want to leave a pile of clothes behind.
Okay. Yes, I shared a TikTok video about the eclipse on my page today. I'll still be here. Yeah, well, so will me. So will I. There was an eclipse in November. No big deal. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
This is a total solar eclipse, which is different than the lunar eclipses. Like the last time we had one like this was in 2017, so they don't happen
Right.
every year.
2012 came and went. That was the end of the Mayan calendar. We're
Oh,
all still here.
1999.
1999 came and went. Nothing happened. Computer stuff kept chugging along like they always did.
Facebook went down. We're still here.
Yeah, Facebook died. We're still here. Oklahoma and other places actually put out warnings to be stocked up and ready.
They also
if anyone
declared
sees her
a
floating
state of
up,
emergency. There's a
okay,
couple
so
states
James
that-
says if you get raptured, we have to catch you and bring you back. He said the conspiracy theory is covered in the video too. That's nice. So was the one in November, full solar eclipse. Yes, I remember that. Yeah, why 2K vibes? I really think it's a non-starter. I don't think anything's going to happen. You know, it's something that happens every so many hundred years.
Well, it seems to be happening every 10 years around this joint.
Well, I mean, this particular type of eclipse, it's what is it? Every 20 years, I think this eclipse occurs, or something like that.
The last one was 2017, so it's like what, every 7
years or something that happens. Nothing ever happens. It follows the same line. Nobody ever disappears. So, I mean, people have been clamoring for the end of the world since. Well, to be fair, if you lived in this country right now, wouldn't you welcome like the end of it?
I am. I want to
No, I'm talking about this particular one occurs every 7 years. The one that's in November, I think, is like once every 20 years. There's two different ones. There's two different eclipses. Which, I mean, I remember seeing that eclipse when I was a kid. The same one. We all had welding glasses and stuff. We were outside in the backyard staring up at the air like a bunch of idiots. You know.
Well,
I'm hoping some of these folks will be raptured somewhere. Just saying. That's what I'm saying. If that actually happens, that means all annoying people will go away. Well, what's going to be really funny is that if that actually does, if something like that is real, which it's not. I mean, anybody with any kind of sense would tell you it's not. But anyway, if it's real and people get raptured, imagine how many of the hypocritical Christians that's going to get left behind and not understand why.
It's going to be funny.
It's going to be one of the most hilarious things we ever get to witness.
The suicide rate's going to go up.
Or imagine ones that are atheists that get raptured just because of their morality in general. Because that's all that book says you have to do.
Love thy neighbor. Don't covet thy neighbor's wife.
This is something like this would be very funny to watch. In all reality, it would be hilarious.
And so I'm like, I'll go stand outside. I'll be ready. But I'm gonna be saying goodbye, sayonara. Don't forget to write.
James is really pulling for a Mad Max type scenario if the rapture occurs.
I'm wishing for it though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm on board. I've been excited for post-apocalyptic world for a while.
Wait, I skipped one. People launching long pong balls across the room from their nether regions down at your local dive bar. I mean, that's a weekly occurrence in Louisiana, and especially in New Orleans. Thank you, sir. I'll look at it. Not right now, obviously, but I will look at it. Love thy neighborhood vigorously. I don't know if I like your version of love thy neighbor.
I don't know either. Like,
I mean, he's kind of like wanting to love in the neighbor.
yeah, that's why I'm glad that if I don't like my neighbor, I can just grab my house and leave and not have to put up with my neighbor. Because I do not
Jackie,
love
I just forwarded something to you that someone made for you.
Ah, perfect. I'll have to look at it after my phone's overheating. It's starting to get grumpy.
We're at the 2 hour and 10 minute mark. If you want to go ahead and cut it, we can. It's
I'm probably
strictly
gonna
up to you.
have to. My phone's about to die and it's overheating.
Well, guys, this was
Probably
the
what kicks
first,
me.
well, the second edition of the Now in a way, because the other one was just audio on the radio. But this is the first official live stream, so whatever. It may occur again, it may not. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you guys for tuning in. If I can get the music to actually play. Okay, there we go. I could get the button to work for a second. Technical difficulties over here.
Yep, it's starting to happen now.
Okay, that's what Leroy Houston's reason for pulling for the Rapture is that he won't owe any money anymore. Later, guys. Thank you, Lee, for tuning in. See you tonight, Hoey. Yes, we do have our Mosh Pit show tonight at 8 o'clock. Yes, sir. This has been the daily soap opera edition of CSHR Radio, the Now podcast, and we'll see y'all later.